Imagine, you wake up tomorrow morning, and something feels wrong. You walk outside, but the horizon looks different. The sky feels lower, the air feels heavier, and when you try to take your first step, your body refuses to move. Within hours, buildings begin collapsing under their own weight. Airplanes can no longer stay in the sky. The oceans start behaving in ways scientists never thought possible. And somewhere deep inside the Earth, the entire planet begins transforming into something it was never meant to become. Not because an asteroid hit us. Not because the sun exploded, but because overnight, Earth became bigger than Jupiter. It sounds impossible. In fact, according to everything we know about physics, it should never happen. But, what if it did? What if our tiny blue world suddenly became the largest planet in the solar system? Would gravity crush every human in seconds? Would the atmosphere become impossible to breathe? Could Earth transform into a giant gas planet, just like Jupiter? Or, would humanity somehow survive the greatest planetary disaster in history? Today, we're going to follow every terrifying hour, from the very first second Earth grows, to the moment our entire solar system changes forever. This isn't science fiction. Every stage of this nightmare is based on real physics, real astronomy, and real planetary science. So stay with me, because by the end of this video you'll never look at Earth the same way again. The clock strikes 7 a.m. At first, it feels like an ordinary morning. Birds are singing, cars are moving through the streets, people are checking their phones, making coffee, getting ready for work, completely unaware that the greatest disaster in Earth's history has already begun. Because somewhere beyond the clouds, something impossible has happened. Earth is no longer Earth. Overnight, our planet has somehow grown larger than Jupiter, the biggest planet in the solar system. No warning, no explosion, no strange lights in the sky. Just a silent transformation. For a few seconds, nothing seems different. But then, you step out of your front door. Your legs suddenly feel incredibly heavy. It's as if someone has tied hundreds of kilograms to your body. Every step becomes a struggle. Running? Impossible. Jumping? Forget it. Even lifting your arms feels exhausting. At first, people think they're sick. Maybe it's a strange virus. Maybe the air pressure has changed. Maybe they're just imagining it. But within minutes, millions of emergency calls begin flooding emergency centers around the world. People are collapsing in the streets. Athletes can barely stand. Children can't even get out of bed. And then, scientists make a terrifying discovery. Earth's gravity is increasing, second by second. Gravity isn't just what keeps us on the ground. It controls everything. The way you walk. The way your heart pumps blood. The way your lungs expand with every breath. Now imagine that invisible force becoming dozens of times stronger. Your bones begin carrying weights they were never designed to support. Your muscles burn with every movement. Even breathing starts becoming painfully difficult because your chest has to fight against an overwhelming force just to expand. Hospitals become overcrowded within hours. Doctors don't know what they're treating. There are no medicines for stronger gravity. No emergency plan. No survival guide. Across the world, chaos begins to spread. But gravity isn't finished. Because the atmosphere is changing too. As Earth's gravity grows stronger, it starts pulling more and more air toward the surface. The sky becomes thicker. Clouds appear darker. The air pressure rises to dangerous levels. Some aircraft suddenly lose control. Pilots report strange readings. Commercial flights are forced to turn back, if they still can. Satellites begin sending alarming data. Space agencies around the world stare at their screens in disbelief. Because every calculation says the same thing. This is impossible. Yet it's happening. And the worst part, this is only the beginning. Because in the next few hours, gravity won't just make life difficult. It will begin tearing civilization apart. Only 3 hours have passed, and the world is already falling apart. At first, people thought they could adapt. They stayed inside. They rested. They waited for scientists to explain what was happening. But now, there is no more doubt. This isn't temporary. Earth is changing, and it's changing fast. As the planet grows larger than Jupiter, its gravity becomes unimaginably powerful. Every building on Earth was designed for normal gravity, not for a force many times stronger. Tiny cracks begin appearing in skyscrapers. Steel beams start bending. Concrete groans under a weight it was never meant to carry. Then, one by one, the tallest buildings begin to collapse. Not because of earthquakes. Not because of explosions. But because gravity itself is crushing them. Bridges snap apart. Highways buckle. Power lines crash to the ground, leaving entire cities in darkness. Panic spreads faster than any disaster in human history. Millions of people try to escape. But escape is impossible. Cars struggle to move under the increasing weight, trains slow to a crawl. Even bicycles become too heavy to ride. Then comes something even more terrifying, the oceans. At first, the water seems calm, but deep beneath the surface, gravity is pulling trillions of tons of seawater into new positions. Gigantic tides begin forming across the planet. Coastlines disappear beneath enormous waves. Ports vanish. Entire islands are swallowed by the sea. Meanwhile, volcanoes begin waking up. The immense pressure inside Earth forces magma toward the surface. Across the globe, mountains erupt almost simultaneously. The sky fills with ash. Day slowly turns into darkness. For the first time in history, people can no longer see the sun. Scientists desperately search for answers. Could this be stopped? Could the Earth somehow shrink back to normal? Every simulation gives the same terrifying result. No. Because the transformation isn't over. Earth is still growing. And something even more unbelievable is about to happen. The atmosphere begins expanding. Clouds rise to impossible heights. The sky starts looking less like Earth's, and more like the atmosphere of a giant planet. Humanity is no longer living on the world it was born on. We're watching Earth transform into something completely alien. The one thing that has protected life for billions of years, Earth's atmosphere, will become our greatest enemy. When the air itself becomes too heavy to breathe, surviving won't depend on strength, it'll depend on time. It's now the end of the first day. By now, the world no longer looks familiar. Cities have become silent. Roads are filled with abandoned vehicles. The sky has turned a dark gray, hiding the sun behind an endless layer of clouds and volcanic ash. But the greatest danger isn't above you. It's all around you, the very air you're breathing. As Earth's gravity continues to grow, it pulls the atmosphere closer to the surface. The air becomes thicker, denser, and heavier than ever before. At first, it seems harmless. More air should mean more oxygen, right? Wrong. The pressure outside keeps rising. Every breath now feels like trying to inflate your lungs underwater. Your chest strains with every inhale. Your heart works harder every second just to push blood through your body. Even healthy people begin collapsing from exhaustion. For the elderly, for children, and for anyone with breathing problems, survival becomes almost impossible. Hospitals lose power. Emergency oxygen supplies run out. Doctors are forced to make impossible choices. Who can still be saved, and who can't? Meanwhile, the pressure is affecting far more than humans. Birds suddenly disappear from the sky, not because they migrated, but because they can no longer fly. Their wings simply cannot generate enough lift against the crushing atmosphere. Within hours, the skies become completely empty. Commercial aircraft are grounded forever. Helicopters crash. Even military jets become nearly useless. For the first time in modern history, humanity loses the ability to fly. Then, scientists receive another terrifying signal. The atmosphere is no longer behaving like Earth's. It's beginning to resemble the thick, turbulent layers surrounding giant planets like Jupiter. Massive storm systems form across entire continents. Lightning flashes continuously through clouds hundreds of kilometers wide. Hurricane-force winds never stop. Some storms become so enormous, they can be seen from space. Entire countries disappear beneath swirling clouds. Communication satellites struggle to send signals through the increasingly dense atmosphere. One by one, the world goes silent. No internet, no television, no GPS, no contact between continents. Human civilization is becoming isolated, piece by piece. But hidden deep beneath those endless clouds, something even more frightening is happening. Earth's core is changing. The pressure inside the planet is rising to unimaginable levels. And if scientists are right, our solid world won't stay solid much longer. 3 days after the transformation, the scientists finally stop calling it Earth, because the planet beneath our feet no longer resembles the world that gave birth to humanity. From space, the familiar blue oceans, the green continents, the white clouds, are disappearing. In their place, a gigantic world covered in endless layers of dense clouds begins to emerge, just like Jupiter. But this transformation isn't happening only on the surface. Deep below, thousands of kilometers beneath the clouds, the pressure has become so extreme that the Earth's interior is being completely reshaped. The crust that once supported forests, cities, and oceans starts breaking apart. Entire continents sink beneath oceans of molten rock. Mountain ranges that stood for millions of years simply vanish. Everything humanity ever built, every city, every monument, every road, every memory, is swallowed forever. There is no trace that humans were ever here. Meanwhile, gravity continues pulling enormous amounts of gas toward the planet. Hydrogen, helium, and countless particles drifting through space are captured by Earth's powerful gravitational pull. A thick atmosphere grows larger every hour. Storms become larger than entire countries. Lightning flashes continuously through clouds that stretch for thousands of kilometers. If someone could somehow survive above those clouds, they would never see the ground again. Because there is no ground left to see. The surface is hidden beneath crushing layers of gas, heat, and unimaginable pressure. This isn't the Earth we know. It has become something entirely different. A giant world where no human could ever stand. No human could ever breathe. No human could ever survive. Then, astronomers notice another terrifying change. The moon. For billions of years, the moon faithfully orbited Earth, controlling our tides, lighting our nights, stabilizing our planet. But now, Earth's incredible new gravity is pulling on the moon with unimaginable force. Its orbit begins changing. Every hour, the moon moves closer and closer. Scientists know exactly what comes next. If nothing changes, the moon's fate is already sealed. And when it happens, the explosion will be unlike anything our solar system has witnessed in human history. 1 week later, Earth has become unrecognizable. The blue planet that once looked like a peaceful oasis in the darkness of space has transformed into a gigantic world wrapped in endless storms. From orbit, there are no continents, no oceans, no cities, only swirling clouds, colossal lightning storms, and a gravity well so powerful that even nearby objects begin to change their paths. For the few humans who manage to survive in underground shelters or space stations, one question remains: can humanity escape? Scientists gather the world's remaining knowledge. Their conclusion is devastating. Launching a rocket from this new Earth is almost impossible. The planet's gravity has become so immense that even the most powerful rockets ever built cannot reach space. The dream of escaping dies before it even begins. Meanwhile, the International Space Station and other spacecraft become the last witnesses to Earth's transformation. The astronauts look down, searching for the home they once knew. But they can't find it. Their planet has disappeared beneath an endless ocean of clouds. They know they cannot return, not because they don't want to, but because there is no safe place left to land. As fuel and supplies begin running out, the last humans in space face a heartbreaking truth. They are now the final survivors of an extinct civilization. Back on Earth, the crushing pressure deep inside the planet continues to rise. Hydrogen is compressed into strange forms. The interior becomes hotter than ever before. Powerful magnetic fields spread far into space, surrounding the planet like an invisible shield. Slowly, Earth begins to resemble a true gas giant, not just in appearance, but in structure. Humanity's home has become something entirely new, something no one could have imagined. Yet, the solar system still isn't stable, because the birth of a new giant planet changes the balance of everything around it. The moon's orbit, the paths of nearby asteroids, even the motion of neighboring planets, will never be the same again. And one final question remains. If Earth really became larger than Jupiter, would the rest of the solar system survive? The answer isn't just about Earth's future, it's about the future of every planet orbiting our sun. So, what would really happen if Earth became bigger than Jupiter? The answer is simple. The Earth we know would no longer exist. The blue oceans, the green forests, the mountains, the cities, and every single piece of human history would disappear forever. Our home wouldn't just become a bigger version of Earth, it would become an entirely different world. A giant planet ruled by crushing gravity, endless storms, and unimaginable pressure. Thankfully, according to everything we know about modern physics, this scenario could never happen naturally. But that's exactly why these questions are so fascinating. Because by imagining the impossible, we learn just how perfectly balanced our real planet truly is. Every breath we take, every sunrise we witness, every step we make, depends on conditions that are incredibly rare in the universe. Earth isn't just our home, it may be one of the greatest cosmic miracles we've ever discovered. So next time you look up at the night sky, remember, sometimes the most terrifying journeys through space begin with a single question. What if? If you enjoyed exploring this impossible cosmic scenario and want more cinematic space documentaries and mind-bending, what if stories. Make sure to subscribe to Dark Skies Ahead and turn on notifications so you never miss the next journey into the universe. And before you go, tell me in the comments, which what if space scenario should we explore next? Until then, keep looking up, because the universe is far stranger than we can imagine. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.